Mr. Speaker, while grocery CEOs are making millions of dollars in bonuses, Canadians have been making difficult choices about what groceries they can afford. Today, after pressure from the NDP, Loblaws showed that it is possible to freeze prices. They just need to be forced to do it. This afternoon, Conservatives and Liberals have an opportunity to help people instead of rich CEOs who are profiting off struggling Canadians. Will this government admit they've let corporate greed go unchecked by finally voting with the NDP to defend Canadian families?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Mr. Speaker, our government is focused on making sure that we make life more affordable for Canadians, and I'd like to thank that member and all members in this House for supporting Bill C-30, which is going to see $2.6 billion delivered to 11 million households that need it the most. That includes more than 50% of seniors, Mr. Speaker. We have a chance to do more with the recovery dividend. We have a chance to do more with the 1.5% tax on excess profits from banks and other corporations. There's lots more work we can do in this place, and we're going to do it, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for Calgary, Forest Lawn.
As an immigrant to Canada, whose family came here with little, through the grace of God, hard work and opportunity, it is an absolute honour to stand here as a Member of Parliament and the new finance critic for the Conservative Party. But this is not the reality for many newcomers and low-income families. Because of unjust inflation and rising taxes, it's impossible for families to make ends meet. When will this Liberal government have some mercy and get rid of this unjust tripling of the carbon tax?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to start by congratulating the member opposite for his new role, and I hope that we can work together to make life more affordable for Canadians and to work on affordability, just like his predecessor did when their party supported C-30, which was a measure to double the GST benefit. I hope now that he can use the newfound power that he has in his critic role to challenge his own party and ask them why. Why are they obstructing our measures to make sure that kids who need it most can get their teeth fixed? Please use your power responsibly.
Speaker, the Liberals' out-of-control spending and tax hikes are increasing the cost of everything. Food prices in remote Indigenous communities are 2.5 times higher than the national average, and rising fuel prices are just compounding inflation's economic toll on families absolutely everywhere. While the minister monitors the situation, families are struggling with food and heat this winter. So when will this government cancel their tax hikes and cap their spending?
Great question.
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Mr. Speaker, let's be very clear. When the Conservatives talk about payroll taxes, they're talking about EI, a rate which is lower today than it was when the Leader of the Opposition was in charge of the file. They're talking about the Canadian Pension Plan. We came together with premiers to strengthen the Canadian Plan and make sure that there was more money in the pockets of seniors when they retired, right when they needed it, and the Conservatives are trying to take that away. And when they're talking about carbon pricing, they're talking about a revenue-neutral plan that puts more money in the pockets of 8 out of 10 Canadian families.
The Prime Minister is spending like a drunken sailor. As a result, inflation is excessive. As a result, Canadians are finding it difficult to make ends meet. As a result of that, many Canadians are cutting back on the amount of healthy foods that they purchase and consume. Now the Prime Minister is planning to triple the carbon tax, which will again increase the cost of groceries, home heating, and gasoline for people's vehicles. In other words, the cost of living will hike up once again. Will the Prime Minister exercise some compassion and, for the sake of Canadians, stop his plan to triple the carbon tax?
The Parliamentary Secretary.
Mr. Speaker, the Leader of the Opposition, that member, the entire Conservative Party, continues to put forward policies that actually put the future of Canadians at risk. That's right. They do that by telling us to stop fighting climate change. They do that by telling us to raise the pensions of seniors. They do that by telling us that child care and dental care isn't important. It's about time we came together in this House to focus on what matters, which is making life more affordable and making sure that we grow an economy that works for everybody.
For Lethbridge.